Hey everyone, Melly Mel here from Sincerely Creative Mom. You know, if you don't know, I'm known for very thin wreaths, so I call them the pancake wreaths. I know it's funny, but that's just how it turned out. And a lot of people don't know that I also make a very thin wreath using 21-inch mesh. I know that sounds crazy, but it's true. So I'm going to show it to you, and it's very similar to a big style that you would make, except for we're just going to use smaller everything. Okay, so we'll still start with a 14-inch frame, and we're still going to do 12 twist ties. You guys, I don't always, but almost always use 12 twist ties. Okay, so for a 14-inch frame, 12 twist ties it is. So we have ring 1, 2, 3, and 4, and we have 6 brackets. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Easy. So I'm going to take the ring 1 and 2 right where the brackets are and add my first pipe cleaner. So I kind of go in on the right side of that bracket and I come out on the left side of that bracket, and there's a little tiny lip there where the bracket is, and I'm just going to use that to help keep me in place. Nice and tight down there. So in, crisscross, twist, twist. Make sure those crisscrosses are real low to the frame. You don't want to be able to put anything through there, so you don't want to be able to put your finger through there. And then the next 6 are going to go right in between those brackets. I'm just going to eyeball it, not going to measure it exactly. Same thing, crisscross, twist, twist. Just tight enough so that your finger, if you run your finger along there, it's not going to move, okay? Apparently I'm one short on the white, and since you're not going to see it, I'm just going to use the tan. We're going to do our best to cover those up anyway, so I'm just going to use that tan color just because I thought I had enough. Okay, so from here I'm going to take this particular roll came from Hobby Lobby. It's the first one I grabbed out of my stack, so I wasn't going to fight with it. And I'm just going to I'm going to drop it to my floor, okay, which is seen better days. But I'm going to drop it to my floor, and I'm just going to gather it up right along that edge. And then just to make my OCD happy, I'm going to gather it really tiny, really tiny, really tiny. And then just to make my little OCD happy, I'm going to cut it off here. So I have a nice, clean, tiny edge to work with. And I'm going to start on the inside with a teeny tiny edge here. Let's see if I can get you in any further. I can. And then as I go along, I'm going to make sure, because this 21-inch mesh, it's lovely to work with, insert sarcasm. It's really pokey and catches on everything. So I'm going to do my best to kind of take those edges and put them under as I go along. And also as I go along, I'm going to kind of make this a little tiny poof. So I want to kind of form it so that when I put it in there, it's already done and I don't have to do anything else to it. See? Teeny, teeny, tiny, little bitty. This from pinch to pinch is going to be about 6 inches, so it's little. Crisscross, twist, twist. Now I went with the white pipe cleaners because we're going to end with a lighter color ribbon on the top. See how I just formed that? Now, just because that was 6 inches, I'm not going to measure these. I'm just going to eyeball it. I'm going to make my life a little bit easier and eyeball it and make sure that this is not taller or bigger than that. Make sure those are nice and tight. So each time gathering it right underneath there. Pinch nice and tight. Now with something so small like this, and it's going to be real particular, you know, any imperfections you'll really be able to kind of see. So I'm trying my best to make sure, got it all situated. Forming every time. Come right back to where we started. I'm going to put that down in there. And then again, to make my OCD happy, I'm going to cut this off. Come over here and start again. So I'm going to put that right in the outside. Crisscross, twist, twist. Now these are going to be a little bit bigger because we have a longer way to go from here to here than here to here, right? So it's going to be a little bit longer. So the inside, remember, that was about 6 inches, about. This one's going to be a little tiny bit longer. So it's going to be about 9 inches. Now this varies, obviously. For me, you know, I put it in there and then it could change to the next wreath. So, you know, the inside could be 6 or 7 or 8, and the outside could be, you know, just accordingly. You know, you want to make it still so that it's kind of a little bit bigger, obviously, because it's a little longer. This will also be a good way to show you, prove to you that, you know, pipe cleaners, although you do want them to match for the just in case, but you know, if you're choosing the right things on the outside to cover up, then it's not that much of a deal. So we're going to use 21-inch mesh and 5.5-inch mesh. So both you can find at Hobby Lobby. If you don't have a Hobby Lobby near you, you can get them online. I would just make sure you're buying when the mesh is on sale. Coming right back in there to the end. Since we have so many things going in there, I know that I'm not going to be worried about being able to see that. But one thing I do, when I cut that off just like this, I always hold on to it just like that, because one roll of 21-inch mesh in this style should get me almost, if not all, of 2 bases. So I just roll it back up all the way So this started as a brand new roll. You saw me open it, and I still have a considerable amount left. So that will go off to the side for the next one. Just like that. Okay, the next step, because now you see we have a adorable little wreath going on, but there's lots of holes, there's lots of curves, there's lots of things. So what I did was I took that 5.5 inch mesh and I cut it 20, let's find out how many inches. 20 inches long, okay, 20 inches long, and I'm going to curl it so that the curl is going under, not on top. And teeny tiny, I'm just going to make a cute little ruffle. Just a regular old ruffle. And I'm going to put them in here with the ruffle facing so the inside cuts are going to be facing on the inside here, and the pretty part is going to be out here. Crisscross, twist, twist. Gonna make it nice and big. Okay. So I'll show you again. 20 inches on the mesh. Teeny tiny. Go all the way to the end. Don't let it do that to you. Be the boss of it. So we're doing St. Patrick's Day, so I went with a nice blend, orange and green. So you see the burlap a little bit. We're trying to cover in those holes. So here's the one that had the tie to it, where there was overlap from the burlap mesh. So for a pancake style, you know, you could really cut your pipe cleaners in half. You could. It's a little, you know, annoying sometimes, but you could. And for these, you're going to use so much of that pipe cleaner because we have a lot of layers going in here that it's really good to leave them long. Overlap those ends just because they're frayed ends, so I don't want them to kind of show and shine. What I did do behind the scenes before we went live, or before I started recording, was I had scrunched a lot of these up to make us go a little bit quicker. Now, I don't normally do this when I'm just creating for myself, but just to make the video go a little bit quicker. Again, the orange 5.5 inch mesh was also from Hobby Lobby. I feel like the littler this mesh is, the easier it is to fray when you're working with it, but try our best. So kind of like the pancake, I am, overlapping these. Again, that's just so that those edges that are fraying will blend in and they won't be so noticeable. And even though I was careful with these, when I put them together, they're definitely fraying. But in the end, you won't notice. I promise. I'm just going to move this one thing, I think. Piece of foam, and I keep thinking something's dripping and it's distracting. Sorry about that. Something leaned up against a piece of foam and OCD, guys, OCD. All right. So remember, I did do some prep behind the scenes. So this is a time-consuming piece. It really is. But it's still little, and you still get all the aspects of a nice big wreath. It's just baby. Okay, so adorable, right? We're getting there, moving things along. Now, I did want to add a little bit more to not be so orange on the top. I just wanted to have that little bit of color. So what I did was I took another 5.5 inch mesh. I think I got this at St. Patrick's Day, actually, from Hobby Lobby, and I'm just gonna curl it. A nice curl. Oh no, not a curl, sorry. A tiny scrunchel, cruffle. I'm just kind of curling those edges in a little bit. Teeny tiny, little, so that they kind of curl under, right? And I'm gonna, instead of, usually I put it this way, this time I'm gonna put it this way. So right in there. Again, nice and tight. Make sure you're getting it in there so that you, when you come in with your ribbon, it isn't sticking up too much. Now, because these were so little, I did not pre-do them like I did the other ones. How cute. This is so cute. So it's a little easier than the curl. At first I wanted to do the curl, and then it just, when you add in the ribbon, it just doesn't, it's not good. So I started doing this little tiny, and I'm just kind of, actually I'm just really kind of folding those ends in. With it being so tiny, you can't really roll it. And as long as I get it in there nice and tight, I don't have to twist that pipe cleaner more than once, as long as it's in there tight. So cute. So, so cute. Here, let's see if I can zoom you in here so you can see some real little, like the width of my finger. Okay. And I'm going to fold it again. Still the width of my finger, and I'm going to fold it again. And then I'm going to scrunch real tiny. Now with one hand, it's hard to do that teeny tiny as little, so I'm just going to fold it in as best as I can, fold it in as best as I can, fold it in as best as I can, and I'm waiting for that edge, I'm waiting for it to kind of curl under and get under there. I really want as much scrunch in the center as possible, but by doing so, you know, you hide those edges just perfectly. So little wreath, we have a little sign. Make sure you flip it over. Flipping it over, make sure that means that those edges that we're going to be able to show are going to go right in to your design. No show edges. If you've gotten this far, I hope that you subscribe to our page or follow our page wherever you're watching. Again, my name is Melissa, or some people call me Melly Mel or Coach Mel from Sincerely Creative Mom. I'm also a coach inside a creative coaching group, a private group, where we teach all sorts of things, lots of big designs, Christmas trees, garlands, swag, centerpieces, all the cool fun stuff. It is a monthly membership. I'm live every Thursday night inside that group, and we have lives every night of the week, different folks doing different things. If you're interested in more, you can go to sincerelycreativemom.com and you can check out, scroll down a little bit, check out where it says coaching. You can read more about it there. This is just darling. Again, it's time consuming, but it's super cute. A nice little option. So again, we started with 21-inch mesh. We did teeny tiny little poofs. We only have 12 twist ties. Then we added the 5.5-inch mesh at 20 inches. Now we're adding it at 11 inches with just a little bit of a curl here. It's darling. We have these bright white pipe cleaners that we now have something to work with in order to add our ribbon. So I've already gone ahead and cut our ribbon. Super cute. We have a shamrock and a orange and white polka dot. They are 8 inches long, and I did dovetail the end already, kind of put a nice little V on the end. So I just fold it in half, cut on the fold up towards the edge. Perfect little V, adorable. And then I always say I put my favorite on the top. So I'm going to put my favorite on the top and scrunch it real tiny. I'm going to go ahead and put those in each twist. And then we still have one layer left to hide that pipe cleaner. I'll come back through and pull these apart. Just want to get them in first. So again, teeny tiny wreath, we have teeny tiny ribbons. What we're going to do now is pull them apart, and unlike the pancake style, I want those ribbons to make a nice big X. Okay, and I'm going to do it in the same manner. So on the right side, the shamrock's going to come up and the polka dot's going to come down. On the left side, the polka dot's going to go up and the shamrock's going to come down. That's what I'm going to do every single time on the outside. Doing this all in a specific manner so that I can point out things that are going to make sense as we go along. So now on the outside it's all the same, right? We have shamrock up, polka dot down. Now if I do the same here, if I did, look at what would be touching, right? I don't want those two to be touching, so I'm going to make it opposite, right? So just different, right? I don't want those two to be touching because it just won't look easy on the eye. Now your pipe cleaners are nice and tight, so you can pull those apart, make them work for you. They're wired, make them do what you want them to. Okay, nice and fun, ribbon all over the place. What you could do from here are a couple things. I started off by using those little round glitter vase fillers, and you could tie off the pipe cleaner, hide it underneath, and put on one of those vase fillers and put that right there, be done. Then I was using tooling, so those little, I think it's 6 inches wide, I would cut 8 inches long and do one little loop and stick that in there. Adorable. This time I have something very different. So I have this 7/8 ribbon. It is the first piece. I did two different colors. This is 8 inches long and this is 5 inches long. Let me just make sure I'm not lying to you. Yes. So 5 inches long, 8 inches long. I'm going to make, and this is again a little time consuming, and it's, you know, it is what it is, but I'm going to take it and put it in half, and I'm going to make one little teeny tiny loop. Let's get you in here so you can see. One teeny tiny loop. Just like that. And I'm going to grab this in the center, just like that. Just like this. I'm going to come in on the top. Crisscross, twist, twist. Now I'm done with this pipe cleaner at this point, so I'm going to twist, 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 twist. And I just realized my thingy is upstairs. The one I like to use is upstairs, so I'm going to use this one. This is not the one I like to use, but the one I like to use is a little bit smaller. They're both from Lowe's, though. I love it. So, tiny, tiny, right? Can you get in any further? It's as small as it goes. Teeny tiny, and then I'm going to take that little stub and kind of hide it underneath all of that ribbon so that you don't really see it. Now you know why I chose the white pipe cleaner, because right now it blends in. I'm going to take that little loop that we did, put it up. I'm going to take those. Look at how cute. Lots and lots of ribbon on that center. So totally cute. Now again, there's so many things you could do. This is just something I haven't done yet, so I figured I would use it on the video. So again, very time consuming. The last part we're going to do after this is add the sign, and then we'll also add a tiny little bow. So tiny wreath, tiny everything, right? And yes, that sign is going to cover up some of these. Just adorable. So our sign, let's just say we won't put one right up here. We'll put our sign right there, so we won't put one there, and there's no sense in just putting it there to cover it up, right? So I'll leave that sign there just to remind me to not do that. Fold it in half, pinch it. So I'm not pinching it right in half. I'm pinching it a little bit so that it's about an inch. This little top here part is about an inch. And then when I fold it, it looks even tinier. And then I'm taking this where I'm holding it, and And I'm putting that right in the center there as best as I can. Put it right in that top. Crisscross. Hide it right underneath there so you cannot see it. Something different on the inside, right? It's just something different. Now by adding those little glitter base fillers, it would go a lot quicker, I imagine, than this. But so I had to cut the ribbon, dovetail all the ribbon, which I did off camera. It's wired. Your pipe cleaner is nice and tight. Let it work for you. Adorable. So bedroom doors. I mean, this could totally go on your front door. Don't get me wrong. But bedroom doors, if you're at a nursing home or assisted living or even an apartment, sometimes, you know, their guidelines on what you can have on your door inside an apartment are very strict. And so this would be little. Not that it's any less cute, but it's little. Sorry about that. I have about 1,000,000 alarms. So this is the brown pipe cleaner. Remember we had, we had one extra. But see, that pipe cleaner, or that center loop, is going to do exactly what we want it to do and hide that just right. Okay, we're going to leave that one blank, remember. And I'm just going to tie this off and hide it. So what you could do if you were looking to do something else other than this 7/8 ribbon, you could tie that off and you could just put one of those little tiny vase fillers in there, you know, those little glitter balls. You could add that right to it. Okay, so now look at how pretty our base is. Adorable. And we have, this came in, I'm in a signed subscription box. And this is one of the ones I actually really liked. And so I'm going to use the back. I added those zip tie mounts. So the 7/8 ribbon and the wired ribbon you can get from coachmailsupplies.com. Also the zip tie mounts you can get from coachmailsupplies.com. I'm just going to use, just because you're not going to see them at all, I added a little bit of glue, if you can see the back of this, and I let it dry for a while. And so these, sometimes I'm just, you know, I'm a cautious person, so I'm just not 100% comfortable. And then your pipe cleaner just slides in the back underneath here. And I like to just, you know, there's a lot of layers of mesh going on there, so I just like to have long pieces so I can sift it right through and then tie it against the wire frame. So from here, make sure it's all clean. I'm just going to kind of place it to where I want it to go. Just like that. And then right where those pipe cleaners were, or are, I'm going to put them right through all those layers of mesh. So putting it through all those layers of mesh is going to help keep the mesh in place. It's going to help keep your sign in place. It's not going to mess up all that hard work you already did. Just got to get it through there. There we go. I'm just going to snuggle it in there just a little bit, not crazy, just a little hug. Twist that around so you can kind of see those coming off there. Put that right over the sign rather. Same thing, push this down in. There we go. Kind of make that sign look like it's supposed to be there, built right in. I'm going to wire that around the bottom. I'm just going to do that same right up here. See if I can't bring this up and over. bring that, make it right part of, there we go. Super cute. So you could leave it just like this. It's adorable. It's darling. It's darling. It's super cute. We're going to add just a little tiny bow. Let's see what this looks like. Let me grab my easy bow maker. Hold on. Oops. See what it looks like with just a little tiny bow. Just a tiny one. So 4 inches. You guys, I use an easy bow maker because I have super bad carpal tunnel. And I guess I'm not brave enough to have it fixed. But I use it because although I can make the bow in my hand, let me get you in here. After about a layer, my hands are not feeling, they're not feeling it. So twist, loop, pinch, twist. So my easy bow maker helps keep me in line. And then I really did want to bring in the plaid to kind of match the sign. Again, little, tiny. So this is about less than 4 inches. I'm just doing one loop and one tail on each side. Orange. Can't leave out the orange, right? So you can't put a great big bow on here. We have a little tiny sign, a little tiny, ribbons, little tiny wreath. Can't put a great big bow on here. So I'm trying my best to have a really cute bow, but still little. So all the ribbons you see here today, you can find at, where I purchased them. It is my affiliate link. You can find all of those in the description. So I'm going to make one loop, tiny loop, one tiny loop. Pinch. Twist. Loop. Pinch. Twist. Make sure that twist goes all the way twist. Right, doesn't matter if you do it left or right, right to left, doesn't matter. Pinch. Twist. See, I can make them in my hands. I just need help holding them all at the same time. Because by now, my hand doesn't like me. Okay, we're going to come in with the tan color because that's the closest I have instead of that dark brown. I'm going to lift it up right here. I'm going to set this to the side. Push down real tight. And just like I did for the sign, I'm going to make one long strand. Now, you do not have to add a bow to this. It is finished off just perfectly. It's adorable without it. But let's just say you wanted to add a bow, you could. Just make it tiny. And then I'm just going to dovetail each of those ends before I put it in the design so that I don't forget any. So it's easier when I get it in the bow, but now you see that pipe cleaner, right? You see it now? And that center loop that we created, just like we did around the outside, it just hides it. It just does its job, just like that. Okay, let's zoom us out. I told you this was a time-consuming one. If you're still watching, thanks for learning. Thanks for hanging out. I can put it right up here. Put it right down here. I guess you can put it anywhere. I'm going to put it at the top. So I could have omitted one of these also, but we're just going to go right on the top. Right about here. I'm going to slide that baby all the way through. All those layers. Help keep that bow right in place. Sink it down in there just a little bit. And then we're going to spread it apart, just like you would any other bow. So on this side, the tails went down, the loop went up. I'm going to put that tail up and the loop down. And then the tail went up over here. Y'all can see that? Yeah. Tail went up, so I'm going to put the tail down and the loop up. The loop went down, so I'm going to put the loop up. So cute. You guys, thanks for following along. Again, 21-inch mesh. We started with a 14-inch frame. We added 21-inch mesh. We added 12 twist ties. Then we added the orange 5.5-inch mesh at 20 inches. Nice little ruffle. We added that burlap in green with a little glitter. Gave it a little punch, a little color throughout, but not a solid color, which is really nice. That was 11 inches. We did a little teeniest tiny cruffle there ever was. We added in 2 different wired ribbons. These are both 1.5 inches long. Those were 8 inches long. Then we come in with the 7/8 ribbon at 5 inches, the 7/8 ribbon at 8 inches. We made a 1-inch little loop, and after we put it in there, we were able to spread those out to make a nice little bow. We cut off that pipe cleaner and hid it right underneath that ribbon. We added our sign. Remember, we added the zip tie mounts to the back of the sign to help keep it, nice and secure. And then you could have, it's so thin, you could have used those hole punchers and punched a hole in there and added a little wire. That would have worked just fine also. We added a bow. We have a 2.5 inch and 3 1.5 inch. All the loops have one on each side. They have 1 loop and 1 tail. And then we just gradually made that bow smaller. You guys, thanks for watching. I know that you've asked so many times about this 21-inch mesh, the thin one. So I hope that you enjoy the St. Patrick's Day version. Thanks for watching again. Melly Mel from Sincerely Creative Mom. I hope that you follow us and subscribe to us and do all of those things. Make sure you leave us a note in the comments and let us know what you think or if you have any questions. Thanks, y'all.